Yo, yo, yo. Hey, yo, what's good, YouTube? It's your boy LC. Welcome to a Fresh Point of View TV. Yo, what's going on, guys? Yo, check it out before we even get started. If it's the first time checking out your boy, make sure you guys go ahead, subscribe to the channel, ring that bell, and let you know when I got all types of videos and live streams coming your way. Alright? So, alright, let me go ahead before we even get started. Let me go ahead and make sure I got my phone on. There you go. Vibrates. So, alright guys, so yo, check it out. Today I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna be checking out some videos. Yo, I got some cool videos. We're gonna be checking out some crazy Simpson predictions, that things that they predicted in the past that slowly but surely are starting to happen. And then I don't know, maybe some new predictions. Let's see. Also, we also have some creepy videos, you know what I mean? So, shouts out to Slap Ham, shouts out to the Squeezed Lemon, and then maybe if we have time, we have video of the history of the Ouija board. Like, yo, I don't mess with the Ouija board, but it's crazy how you can just go to Walmart and buy one. You know what I mean? So we may check that out. So we'll see if we have time for that one. Alright guys, so on that one, let's go ahead and get started, guys. Make sure you guys go ahead. Once again, subscribe to the channel, smash that like. It does help out the channel. Alright, so let's go ahead and get it started. Let's see here. So shouts out to the Squeezed Lemon. We're gonna check out the crazy Simpsons predictions. Let's see what the hell is going on. Alright, so here we go, guys.
If we told you that your entire future has already been laid out,
How did you know my name?
and that only some people know what's going to happen,
Look, Homer's got one of those robot cars.
because they've been to the future.
What's this thing in the corner? It looks like a vortex, a gateway into another dimension.
It all sounds insane until you tune in to The Simpsons. That's right, this household show has been masking an insane secret.
$9? This one's on me.
Allegedly, the creators are time travelers trying to warn us of our fate.
I am officially running.
All you've got to do is watch.
Let's go.
Predicting Trump's first presidential run might have seemed like a lucky guess. Maybe the showrunners were just playing around, given Trump's interest in politics. But now, predicting something as close as his potential return? That's intriguing. The same episodes that suggested Trump would rise in politics also hinted at his possible return to power. Though it wasn't explicitly shown, the hints about his presidency and desire to come back are noteworthy.
I am officially running.
With the elections heating up and Trump hinting at a comeback,
Vote for Donald J. Trump. Very simple. Very simple.
could The Simpsons be on the verge of predicting his second term? What do you think? President Harris. While Trump's presidency grabs most of the spotlight, let's shift focus to Lisa Simpson. Becoming the first female president of the United States is a big deal, and her leadership comes after Trump's tenure.
Excellent question. Yes, I am proud to be America's first straight female president.
This raises an interesting question. Was Lisa's role as the first female president after Trump just a coincidence? Consider the similarities between President Biden's inauguration and Lisa's portrayal. From the attitude to the pearls, there are striking resemblances between Kamala Harris and Lisa. So
Yo, the first time I saw that picture of that Kamala Harris with the purple suit and the white necklace, this is the first thing I thought about. Was the episode of the Simpsons. I was like, holy, you know what I'm saying? So, yo, I was like, yo, it's crazy. And this was back then when that episode aired. This was like in 2000.
some say it's just a coincidence, while others think Harris might have done it intentionally. Could Lisa's presidency be hinting at a future where the US has a female president, especially since we're halfway there? Portal travel. Speaking of portals, is no one going to address how The Simpsons has shown us how transport will be in the future?
Oh, ma'am, you really shouldn't teleport when you're pregnant. I'm afraid your only choice is air travel.
Since we're already pretty advanced and experimenting with newer and newer ways of travel, like even Elon Musk coming up with a now scrapped idea of the Hyperloop. But if The Simpsons says we'll be moving up to using portals in the future, maybe the idea isn't as crazy as it seems. After all, we have been noticing some weird stuff going around, and even what looks like portals mysteriously opening up in areas around the world, which means we're getting closer and closer to what The Simpsons says life has in store for us.
What's this thing in the corner? It looks like a vortex, a gateway into another dimension.
Guys, let me know in the chat. We're going to put our tinfoil hat on. Do you guys believe in time travel? Do you believe that it exists? And that obviously they're still holding it from us. You know what I mean? I believe it exists, but that's just me.
Ivanka's run. In another one of The Simpsons' glimpses to the future, we see a rising political figure. Encouraged by Trump, his daughter Ivanka is shown as a prominent candidate, with Homer sporting a lapel pin that says Ivanka 2028. This clearly hints at her future run for president.
The new Supreme Court Justice Ivanka takes Ruth Bader Ginsburg's seat on the bench.
While it might seem like stretching the future, with Trump making a comeback and potentially winning the presidency, there's a possibility he could set up Ivanka for the next campaign. It's not uncommon for leaders to groom their children for leadership roles. Given Trump's vocal support for Ivanka and her growing political presence, it's possible we could see her in power as well. Ricey's demise.
That'll be crazy as hell. First off, you don't even hear from Ivanka right now, right? But imagine later on, you start hearing some shit like this, I'm telling you, it's gonna take you right back to The Simpsons, or maybe this video. So, comment below, let me know what you think about that. I don't see her becoming in politics no time soon, but it'll be crazy if it starts happening, a few years later.
A helicopter carrying Iran's president and its foreign minister crashed in the northwest of the country in thick fog.
On May 19, 2024, the world witnessed the end of an era as Iran's president, Ibrahim Raisi, sadly lost his life at a tragic event. His helicopter went down suddenly, leaving many in shock and disbelief. If only there was a way to foresee or prevent it. And here we are, back with The Simpsons. Anonymously shared online, an image from the show, supposedly from an unaired episode, depicts a similar incident, though no one's been able to verify this. But here's where it gets even stranger. In an older episode, Homer mentions a date and time suggesting a tragic event. The date? May 19th, 3:15 a.m., close to the timing of Ricey's helicopter incident. A coincidence? Or something more? Texan independence. If you've been a good student in history, you know all about Texas, how it was once part of Mexico, then went on to become independent, and even was its own country. Later, it merged with the US as a state. Now, all is fine and dandy, but every now and then, some Texans talk about wanting independence and legally seceding. However, most people in Texas and the United States don't think this is a good idea, which is why it's never really gone beyond. Except in one episode of The Simpsons. Look at what the portal says. That's right, Independent Republic of Texas. Does that mean we'll be looking at an independent country within the US soon? Emotions Incorporated.
That'll be crazy.
In one of the older episodes of The Simpsons, we see Homer Simpson meeting up with a stock trader and buying shares of Animotion Incorporated.
I'd like to buy 500 shares of Animotion Incorporated.
In the same scene, we see how well the trade goes.
Animotion.
Animotion. Up 1 1/2.
Yoo-hoo!
With Homer internally rejoicing at the hundreds and thousands of dollars he'll earn. If you're one to keep up with trends, you know how the deal goes. Animotion Incorporated is still going strong. But here's the crazy part. In the same episode, Homer ends up losing his money.
Stock market, Animotion is up an 8. The firm declared super-duper bankruptcy, which is terrible news for the company's only stockholder, Homer Simpson.
Oh!
But we've yet to see that day. It makes you wonder, are the Simpsons toying with us or trying to help us secure a good future?
Are you sure you understand the risks of stock ownership?
Absolutely.
Area 51. Perhaps one of the biggest mysteries in the US is Area 51, the place rumored to host aliens and extraterrestrial aircrafts. And there was even a point in time when multiple residents stormed Area 51, only to find out there wasn't anything there, and that the facility isn't the Area 51 they thought it was. Now, it was all hilarious back then, but as we go back to the Simpsons episodes, you'll find one where Lisa takes the wrong bus and winds up at a place called Area 51.
I found Area 51!
But when she talks to the guard, he firmly claims it isn't the Area 51, but Area 51A.
I found Area 51!
No, ma'am, this is Area 51A.
Meaning Lisa was misled. But this incident makes you wonder, doesn't it? Sunblock. Harvard has been working on an experiment since 2018. Due to rising global warming, scientists are trying to figure out if there's a way to literally block out the sun, or parts of it, in order to evade the heat. As they're still working on this one, funnily enough, if you tune into The Simpsons, Mr. Burns, in a fit of rage and craze, decides to literally block the sun.
Since the beginning of time, man has yearned to destroy the sun. I will do the next best thing. Block it out.
Back then, it seemed like a gag, but it looks like Mr. Burns' idea had some sort of shape to it.
Take one last look at the sun, Springfield.
Tesla's prediction. Speaking of Tesla, in another humorous episode of The Simpsons, we see Homer freak out at the thought of being spotted in public with Ned Flanders.
Duck! I can't let the boy see me with you!
What?
Hi.
So he makes it look like he's driving a driverless car.
Look, Homer's got one of those robot cars.
And as we all very much know, decades later, we're now seeing more of these driverless cars take the streets, all thanks to Elon Musk's brain baby, Tesla. Perhaps The Simpsons was just trying to fantasize about technology, but this certainly seems like it got...
Yo, that's bugged out, right? Hold up. That's bugged out. You know, just that little scene, you know, and then he's like, you don't see it then, you know what I mean? But then you see how things are now. I mean, it could be something, but it could be nothing. But it could be something. You guys let me know what you think. But it's bugged out.
Pretty close to predicting the future. I wonder what else it's predicted that's yet to come true. Brazilian banknotes. I'm beginning to think The Simpsons aren't only predicting the future, but they've become so great at it that reality is practically basing itself around the episodes. In a short still from an old Simpsons episode, you can see how a man reaches out for 200 in Brazilian real. Back when this episode aired, there was no 200 in Brazilian currency notes. But in 2020, the Central Bank of Brazil announced 200 reals. That's weird, considering there wasn't a plan to do such a thing earlier. But now, the currency's got this. Amazon burning. In a rather unique episode of The Simpsons, Homer is taken by a bunch of hooligans living in Brazil. As they go down the Amazon, they say it'll be a quick trip since most of the Amazon is burning down.
Behold, the Amazon. But quick, because we are burning it down.
Tragically, it wasn't just a joke on their end. It seems like the creators of The Simpsons were just trying to tell us how bad we'd be treating Mother Nature, because years later, in 2024, there are multiple reports of the Amazon being burned down. Activists are working on it, but it seems like if we just paid a bit more attention to cartoons, we might have been able to prevent this. Astronaut driver. The Simpsons has truly outdone itself. While we're talking about small things it's predicted, we're now looking into one phenomenal thing. In an old episode, there's a short scene with an astronaut sitting upright in a car and aggressively trying to travel. Of course, since he's literally in a car, he isn't flying in space. That's impossible, right? Or is it? In 2018, years after the Simpsons episode, Elon Musk kickstarted a road trip in space. That's right. Remember that a Tesla was launched into space for some detailed experiment that will take us back to science class. But isn't this crazy how something literally thought impossible became true right before our eyes? Bell pepper snacks. Simpsons predictions aren't always dark. They can be pretty amusing too. In one episode, Homer, while at a game, buys bell peppers to eat.
Crunchy and bland.
3, please.
Now, I don't know about you, but just eating a raw bell pepper seems kinda crazy. And then, a couple of years later, this fan was spotted. Either the fan took some serious inspiration from The Simpsons, or the show really has got tricks up its sleeve.
Hey, yo, what the fuck?
Yo, what? Who's eating bell peppers at any game, anywhere? Oh my god. Raw at that. Oh, let me know what you guys think about that, guys. That was disgusting.
Solar superstorm. Just weeks before the total solar eclipse, chaos erupted worldwide. Why? Many feared the solar storm would usher in an apocalyptic scenario, leaving us all powerless. This wasn't just a random fear. The Simpsons, known for its apocalyptic episodes, once hinted at a full solar eclipse happening in 2024. And as it turns out, that prediction came true. Thankfully, the apocalypse didn't materialize, and we're all safe for now. But could we still be inching towards a disaster we haven't yet noticed? It's wise to stay vigilant, even if things seem calm at the moment. NSA spying scandal. In perhaps one of the most controversial scenes, The Simpsons, in its movie, alluded to the NSA spying on citizens through surveilling their devices.
No, Lisa, it's not like the government is listening to everybody's conversation.
When the movie aired, this was met with a lot of criticism, and rightfully so. But then, Edward Snowden, a whistleblower of the NSA, confirmed how it really was keeping track of citizens through their devices.
NSA and the intelligence community in general, collecting your communications.
And this was 6 years after The Simpsons movie. If only we'd taken it a little bit more seriously.
Hey, everybody, I found one! The government actually found someone we're looking for!
GameStop and Bitcoin. If you've traded in GameStop, you might want to be a little more hopeful. Sure, the trade hasn't gone as smoothly as we'd expect, but if we're really putting our trust into The Simpsons, we might as well go all in. In one Simpsons episode, it's predicted that GameStop stocks hit $1 trillion in profits. If that's true, and will be, it means we're coming closer and closer to the real deal. And that's not all. See in that corner there? That's Bitcoin, set at an infinity. Whoa! Seems like investing in all this might just be beneficial. Hey, remember, I'm only saying might. Flu-pocalypse. Imagine if we had known The Simpsons could have predicted the coronavirus pandemic. We might have been ready. COVID-19 seemed to appear out of the blue, but there's an old episode from Season 4, Marge in Chains, that hints otherwise. In this episode, Homer receives a box tainted by a sick worker's germs. Soon, Springfield is hit with a strange flu, evolving into a full-blown pandemic. The twist? At the episode's end, people are in the streets demanding a cure. We need a cure! We need a cure! Only for the doctor to say one isn't available.
Why, the only cure is bed rest. Anything I give you would only be a placebo.
Sounds a lot like the early days of the pandemic, now doesn't it? Alien takeover.
Yo, that is crazy, yo. That is freaking crazy. That is literally everything that happened. That is literally what happened. Talk about stay in your house and all this. That is crazy. And that was years back. Wow.
One of the most mind-blowing revelations recently was Congress confirming the existence of aliens. And get this, they even presented alien mummies from undisclosed locations. While some, like the Nazca mummies, have gotten a lot of attention, what's the connection to The Simpsons? Remember that quirky theory that we might already be living among aliens disguised as humans? Well, The Simpsons touched on this idea in an old episode where national leaders were shown as aliens. With our current close encounter with the alien world, who's to say that having extraterrestrials in positions of power isn't a real possibility? And
guys, I actually have another video coming later on, and one of it is like one of the creepy videos, and it's about image of LeBron James in 2024. I think it was at the Olympics, in an interview, and they're talking about his eyes changed, looking like reptilian. So we're gonna check that out later on. But yeah, that's one of the videos that I have for tonight as well. So
in 2024,
interesting.
Miami aliens.
What?
Just a few months ago, rumors of a bright alien creature suddenly appearing out of nowhere in a mall in Miami began circulating. There were even a few visuals to back up this claim. But what if I told you this was all prophesized to happen several years ago, and that too by an animation? During an episode of Season 8 of The Simpsons, Homer encounters a bright, glowing creature in the woods. Although Homer's alien encounter didn't exactly happen in a mall, the likeness of the alien to the one that allegedly appeared in the Miami Mall is too much to be passed off as just a coincidence. Zombies World.
Crazy. That is crazy. Because I remember when that happened. Yo, Claire, what it do? Yo, yo, yo. What did LeBron see? Nah, that video is going to be coming up. That's part of the videos. You know what I mean? I got about maybe 5 videos coming up. This is the first one, guys. So, we chilling. Shouts out to Crackpot. Yo, yo, yo. Smack that like, guys. Smack that like. Smash that like. You know what I mean? You know it does help out. Let's continue.
We've already seen The Simpsons nail a prediction in a pretty chilling way. The pandemic. As we hope for a peaceful 2025, it's worth considering what might be lurking ahead. Could we be on the brink of something like a zombie apocalypse? It might sound far-fetched, but it's not entirely impossible. The Simpsons once depicted a zombie outbreak spreading through tainted meat.
Juicy, flavorful, with just a hint of...
And now, with rising cases of viruses jumping from animals to humans, especially through meat and poultry, we might be closer to this scenario than we'd like to believe. If we don't act fast, we could be facing a zombie apocalypse sooner than expected.
Oh man, that freeze feels good.
A star...
Crackpot says... I'm getting blazed on up, kid. Alright, yo, that's what I'm talking about, baby. Yo, you know how it is. You know what I mean? Light that shit. Smoke that shit. Pass that shit. You know what I'm saying? So, you already know. Take a hit from me, B. Let's continue, guys.
Starbucks World. Let's be honest. As much as we love a cup of coffee in the morning, seeing a Starbucks every 5 minutes is beginning to feel like a lot. Just when the chain was starting up, The Simpsons predicted it would be a big thing. And well, here we are. But here's where it gets even crazier. The Simpsons also predicted they...
No, I didn't do the Marvel movie today because I was doing a bunch of things with my son. And then I had the plumbers come in. I was doing a bunch of house stuff. I had plumbers. So I'm getting a bunch of things that was going on that I needed for the house, but we just wound up. If I don't do it tomorrow, we'll just leave it for next Saturday. It's most likely it'll just happen next Saturday. But yeah, you know I'll always announce it.
There would be a mega Starbucks store, and it looks like that crazy idea is beginning to take real shape. Plexus wheel.
Ow! Oh, my back! Dr. Steve didn't do anything!
After battling lifelong back pain, Homer miraculously heals his by landing on a trash can.
Oh, no.
Dad, are you okay?
Thus inspiring him to become a chiropractor and creating a fun tool to help others ease back pain.
Hey, it worked! My searing leg pain is now a gentle numbness.
His career as a chiropractor was pretty short-lived, but perhaps it was more than just a moment. Years later, people began raving about this miraculous back healer, dubbed the Plexus wheel. It's so popular, the tool is still trending today, but you can't help but notice how similar it is to Homer's invention. Neuralink. Back in 1998, a short commercial showed Homer undergoing brain surgery to have an Intel Pentium 2 chip implanted. The goal? To boost Homer's less than stellar intelligence. And surprisingly, it worked. He ended up giving a lecture at Springfield University, proving he could be much smarter than anyone ever imagined. Now, while brain implants aren't a new concept, a chip designed to make people smarter and simplify tasks? Sounds a lot like Elon Musk's Neuralink. His implant aims to let humans connect to their devices and control them with mere thoughts. With Neuralink already moving into human trials, we might just see a few refurbished Homers of the world real soon. Game of Thrones.
Yeah, that's like Elon Musk. Elon Musk said that that's Elon Musk's Neuralink that he's doing for the brain. So yeah, like so you can like having a smartwatch, you know what I mean, a smart TV, like all that smart shit, but like in your brain. I don't know, man. That seems a lot like the freaking mark of the beast to me. So I ain't getting none of that.
If you're not caught up on Game of Thrones at this point, well, you still might want to skip this, and maybe even hold off on watching The Simpsons for a while. In the first episode of season 29, the Simpsons are dropped into a medieval, magical realm. After a thrilling journey, they're facing a near-certain demise, until a dragon suddenly swoops in and burns everything to ashes. Now, here's the interesting part. Shortly after this episode aired, Game of Thrones featured a very similar scene with, you guessed it, a dragon torching a city. Could the Game of Thrones writers have taken a page from The Simpsons? Or does Matt Groening know something we don't?
Yeah, when I was in school, when I was in elementary school, I used to also have a calculator watch. Cause I wasn't good at math when I was young, so I used to hate math. So I used to have like the calculator watch.
Apple Vision Pro. You might think that most of these so-called predictions we've seen are just
or Oculus, you know what I'm saying? Doesn't necessarily gotta be, you know, I got the Oculus. So we there, look. We there. I got it. I'm part of it. You know what I'm saying? I'm contributing to what the hell the Simpsons are saying. You know what I mean?
coincidences, often because they barely resemble reality. But what if I told you that The Simpsons got something spot on, even down to the characters' actions? Take a look at this. Doesn't it feel familiar? In one episode, The Simpsons world is taken over by a futuristic VR headset, and while many versions have been created over the years, people are now comparing it to the Apple Vision Pro. Seriously, just look at how these characters move and interact. It's like The Simpsons directly mirrored reality. Could this be proof that the show's creators have a secret window into the future? Unexpected benching.
Yeah, when it comes to the VRs are cool. You know what I mean? I got two. This is the Oculus 2. I got two of them. So my son wants me to get number 3. But man, for right now, he's cool. You know what I mean? But yeah, they're pretty cool. All right, let's continue.
Just last year, Don Mattingly was benched by his manager because he refused to comply with an appearance policy, which required him to shave off his beard and get a haircut. Mattingly went on to stay on top of his game despite the small event, but true Simpsons fans know this day was to come. In an old episode where Mr. Burns is leading Don Mattingly's team, he frequently asks Mattingly to cut those sideburns.
Mattingly, for the last time, get rid of those sideburns. Don't argue with me, just get rid of them!
Of course, Mattingly refuses and is benched, much like what happened now.
I thought I told you to trim those sideburns! Go home! You're off the team!
Fine.
Spread of misinformation. As the pandemic wreaked havoc, we saw thousands of people refuse the COVID-19 booster because they believed it was a way to control our minds. Of course, that's all bah humbug, but in one episode...
Yo, I didn't get that. I didn't get that shot. You know what I mean? I'm upset that my oldest son, got it because he needed to go on a flight. But nah, we didn't get that, son. You know what I mean? So I hope that there ain't no side effects because of that in the future, because it will affect my son. But besides that, nobody in my house, we ain't get that. Fuck that.
Episode, Homer writes a blog post about how the flu shot is a way for authorities to gain control of the public's minds. Not only does his blog spread misinformation, but it also creates mass hysteria, which ends up in the same way every other Simpsons plot does. But do you think this is just a mere coincidence?
They're controlling our minds with flu shots. I knew it.
Siegfried and Roy's Tiger Incident. A couple of years ago, popular magicians and performers Siegfried and Roy took to the stage with the promise of an exciting tiger performance. What followed instead was an unexpected tackle, a terrible fate, and an audience scurrying to get the authorities. Of course, working with an unrestrained tiger does have its predicaments, but it looks like The Simpsons warned us this would happen in a ye-old episode, where performers were tackled by their beastly cats. Voting.
Yo, I think the tiger saw this episode, and he said, it would be a good idea to attack these motherfuckers. Oh, this is that. Yo, just so you guys know, in the live stream, obviously I'm going to be playing all the videos you're going to be playing. We chilling tonight. But eventually, I will be having these videos cut down. That way you guys can just check it out by, if I do 5 videos, it'll be 5 different episodes that I'll do on the channel. So that way you can just pick whichever one you guys want to see. You don't got to sit through the whole live stream again. So.
Error.
Yo, I keep seeing this picture right here of the lemon, and I'm craving my lemon heads. I gotta get me some lemon heads. I'll be back.
Back when Obama was running for president, Homer Simpson tried to vote for him, but somehow the voting machine errors and casts his vote for the opposite candidate.
1 vote for McCain. Thank you.
No, I want to vote for Obama.
2 votes for McCain.
It wasn't until a while later, when voting began for the presidency, and a faulty voting machine in Pennsylvania counted a vote for Obama as one for Romney instead. Thankfully, it was quickly thrown to the curb and rectified, but maybe the Simpsons were trying to tell us something about the future. FIFA's corruption scandal. In 2015, FIFA officials were reprimanded and arrested on corruption charges over 2018 and 2022 World Cup bids. We all remember this. It was pretty big news, especially with how unexpected it was. The investigation carried on, with many even being barred on conditional terms. But what if we told you this had all been predicted by the very same yellow characters we've been laughing at? They did say such corruption would take place, but then it was a bit too early.
I myself am about to be arrested for corruption.
Now, it's more than just a coincidence. Greece's debt default. A couple of years ago, Greece applied for an international bailout after filing bankruptcy. As tumultuous as it was, it also wasn't shocking for eager-eyed Simpsons viewers who knew this day was coming. Well, maybe we should turn to the show for any and all political understandings. Titan submersible. On June 18, 2023, the world was gripped by a tragic event when the Titan submersible ventured deep underwater and never resurfaced. As people came to terms with the disaster, others have drawn connections to a certain episode of The Simpsons with an eerily similar storyline. In that episode, Homer goes on an underwater mission with someone he believes to be his father. The two are in separate submersibles, but at the ocean floor, they are separated, with Homer losing consciousness due to lack of air. Though he makes it out safely, viewers couldn't help but see a link to the Titan incident. Could it have been prevented? Wow. Barbenheimer.
That's crazy.
In one of the most surprising coincidences, The Simpsons seemingly predicted the simultaneous release of 2 very different movies. That's right, we're talking about the recent back-to-back release of the Barbie movie and Oppenheimer, which turned out to be one of Hollywood's biggest days ever. What? And of course, The Simpsons had a hand in this too. In an older episode, Marge and Homer are looking at some movie posters. One shows what looks like a seaside adventure, while the other clearly features smoke and even the name Oppenheimer. Sure, there's no Malibu Stacy here, but the fact that 2 wildly contrasting movies appeared on the same day is pretty strange.
Wow.
Tom Hanks' Peace.
That's bugged out. You know what I mean? I didn't think about that. I've seen that episode. I didn't think about that. What do you guys think? Is there a connection?
The Simpsons aren't just known for predicting major events. Even some of their quick gags are coming to life. In one old episode, Tom Hanks makes a cameo as himself.
Hello, I'm Tom Hanks.
And jokes about the government using him to keep citizens cheerful. Now, this didn't seem like much of a stretch, given Tom Hanks' long-standing popularity. But who would have guessed it would align with one of the most tumultuous times in US politics? This joke hit a bit closer to reality in 2021, when Tom Hanks actually hosted a concert for President Biden's inauguration, proving once again that The Simpsons might just be onto something. Education. In 2020, Canon China announced that it would install AI-enabled cameras in its offices to only allow employees who are smiling to enter. As dystopian and out of the ordinary this idea seemed like, you'd be surprised at how accurately The Simpsons had it. In an episode where Homer travels through space, time, and dimensions, he reaches one where people are required to smile if they want to progress, and are also bound to Ned Flanders.
Don't you remember, Dad? Flanders is the unquestioned lord and master of the world.
That was pretty dystopian of them, but it looks like we're living that reality now.
What the hell are you smiling at?
Humanoid fish. I know some of you might find this a bit wild, but just bear with me here. In an old episode, we see Flanders showing off a special kind of fish, and, long story short, by the end of the episode, this fish grows humanoid legs, leaps out of the water, and starts breathing. Head-anoid Flanders quickly tosses it back into the tank. Now, you could argue the fish didn't just evolve, but maybe transformed into something more alien-like. Sounds like a stretch, right? But here's the kicker. Something similar actually happened recently. And while it looks like a regular fish, even scientists can't quite pin down what it really is.
What the hell?
Hey, yo, what the fuck?
Yo, what do you guys think of that? Crazy.
What do you think? Autocorrect fails. You'd be surprised at how many small things The Simpsons has hinted at, and we've even worked with most of them, not knowing the animated show was talking about them all this time. Now, this one isn't a prediction per se, but you could say it's a semi-prediction. Remember back when we were still learning about smartphones and the latest technology? Well, around the time when phone companies were experimenting with autocorrect, one Simpsons episode predicted autocorrect wouldn't be as helpful as we thought.
Hey, Dolph, take a member on your Newton.
This was really supposed to say something else. Considering how we're running into these problems now, either The Simpsons is really good at telling the future, or knows how some technologies will fail.
Trust me, that's happened to everybody. I hate when that happens.
Headless statue. Here's one that makes you scratch your head. In 2020, 2 Christopher Columbus statues took the brunt of silent hate, as one was thrown in a lake and the other was found without its head. You're probably wondering why we're bringing up a news like this now. Well, of course, it's got something to do with The Simpsons. In Season 7, they detail the history of Jebediah Springfield, who's practically the equivalent of Christopher Columbus but for Springfield. But then, Bart, prompted by senior students, ends up breaking the head of the statue.
So what's in the bag, Bart?
In the exact manner the statue in reality was found. Now, that's gotta be more than just a coincidence. Corrupt cops. Marge Simpson wasn't always a housewife. She also tried out as a cop, and was even a pretty successful one.
Excuse me.
What?
Actually, I'm interested in becoming a police officer.
During her reign as a cop, she invited Lisa along for a ride-along, or just a casual visit to the police station. Only it didn't go according to plan. Lisa, being an incredibly intelligent and emotionally aware person, says this.
Mom, I know your intentions are good, but aren't the police a protective force that maintains the status quo for the wealthy elites?
Sounds painfully familiar, doesn't it? It seems like she was right on the money with this one. Ugh, what a sad prediction to have come true. Aquaman, The Shape of Water. Just hear this one out. The comic book guy says this.
But Aquaman, you cannot marry a woman without gills.
And back then, when the episode initially aired, it sounded like such a crazy idea that a hero who primarily dwells in water would be able to settle down with a person who doesn't even have gills. But, spoiler alert, a couple of years later, the comics adapted the story to have Aquaman pair with someone who doesn't have gills. And the movie, The Shape of Water, went on to follow the same sort of story.
What the hell? She has sex with a fish? What? I've never seen that movie. I've never seen this movie. If you guys seen this movie before, let me know. That is crazy. They're calling it Aquaman. Well, I mean, you can't. It's a mermaid right there.
Ubering around.
Or merman.
Nowadays, most of us are Ubering from one place to another. For us, Uber's become the forefront of going someplace without having to drive. But if we rewind a little and search for the right episode, we'll see The Simpsons predicted Uber.
Here comes our ride. I called Uber Kid.
And plenty of other things as well. There are multiple instances about it, but it's crazy to think how something like this happened decades ago. It is still happening now.
Wow.
JCPenney's fate. A couple of years ago, JCPenney surprised the world by filing for bankruptcy. Since then, the store chain has been trying to get back up, with even closing some stores this year. It looks like the future for the store is bleak, and it will run out in no time.
I used to work for JCPenney's when I was like, how old was I? I was like 15, 16. I used to work for JCPenney's. At the mall, at the Sawgrass Mall.
If you think the store filing for bankruptcy was a shocker, though, just go back to The Simpsons, and there's an entire episode about the mall where one of the only stores that seems to have suffered a lot is JCPenney.
JCPenney's used to be here.
WandaVision cross Simpsons.
What?
The WandaVision show paid tribute to a couple of old classics like I Love Lucy and others. While watching it was pretty fun, WandaVision wasn't the only show to do this. In fact, some are wondering if The Simpsons was telling us about this tribute ages ago. The fact that they tribute almost the same shows can't be a coincidence, now can it? Or maybe the showrunners of WandaVision took some inspiration. But hey, it's all just a bunch of words. Cast reunion. Among one of the few things The Simpsons has accurately predicted, in an ancient episode, Lisa talks about the reunion of the cast of Facts of Life. When the episode originally aired, it seemed like Lisa's words were insane, especially since the cast hadn't even mentioned returning. But lo and behold, in 2019, the same cast came back with a bounce and announced a reunion. Oh, the stars are beginning to align a little too perfectly. What do you think? Open discussion. The Simpsons have predicted countless things, but nothing has been more terrifying than knowing the fate of the former US President Donald Trump. Not only did The Simpsons predict his presidency when he wasn't even prominent in politics, but they also predicted how things would be going after he was no longer president.
Quite a budget crunch for President Trump.
Now, if you've been keeping up with the news, you'll know that Trump recently experienced a harrowing event. This picture's going around with the notion that The Simpsons predicted Trump's predicament. And while the show has been pretty accurate, it did not predict this. It seems like reality finally broke The Simpsons' predictions. But that doesn't mean all the predictions are false.
Wow.
What if we told you that your entire future...
That's what I'm talking about. Guys, let me know what you guys thought about that one. Now, you know they've been saying for years that The Simpsons, Family Guy, all those shows be predicting the future. You know what I mean? Or things that's gonna happen. But yeah, that was crazy. What was I gonna say? Alright guys, so on that one, let me know what you guys thought about that one. That was bugged out. Like I said, have you guys heard some of these? This is the first time you're hearing some of these. But yeah. Alright. Next one we're gonna do. I like these videos, right? Next one we're gonna do, once again, is gonna be from the Squeezed Lemon, and this is going to be regarding time travel. You know, time travelers. So this is gonna be a good one. Make sure, once again, if you're new to the channel, subscribe, smash that like. It does help out the channel. Alright guys, let's go ahead and jump right into it.
From the Lost Generation, revealing terrifying truths.
In 2027, there was a huge technical revolution in the world, which began in 2025.
To Gen Beta returning from the future with chilling warnings.
The sky was completely red. There was pollution everywhere.
Encountering people from parallel universes has become increasingly common.
We are Orin, a collective conscious and cyborg sent by a higher civilization to warn humans of the incoming apocalypse.
Get ready for the shocking stories of those who have gotten lost somewhere between time and space.
On April 23, 2006, a man in his early 20s was seen in Kyiv, Ukraine, staring at a high-rise apartment building.
This is the story of a man named Sergio, a mysterious time traveler from Ukraine back in 2006. He showed up in Kyiv claiming to be from 1958 with a funky ID card and all. Then things got weirder when his camera had pics from the 1950s, but he was in them, wearing the same clothes as when he appeared.
We found on the roll were photos of Kyiv, but clearly from a long time ago. All the cars, all the clothes, all the street signs, all were from the 50s. And there were photos of buildings that didn't exist anymore.
Doctors thought it was aliens or time dilation, but you know what the crazier part was? Sergei vanished from a locked hospital room, leaving behind only old photos and baffled cops. But here's an even crazier part. When police checked the records, there was a missing person named Sergei who had disappeared in Kyiv in 1960. Then reappeared years later, just like Sergei did in 2006. Coincidence? Or was he really a time traveler? What's your take on this mind-bending tale?
They also were able to track down the woman in the photograph, his girlfriend. She told the police that Sergei had disappeared that day in 1958, but returned just a few days later, the exact amount of time that he had been in 2006. Then she claimed that he disappeared again in the 1970s, and this time he was never seen again.
Future Girl. In 2020...
I'm telling you, I believe in that. I believe in the... time travel. There's so much that's out there that we don't know. Let me know what you guys think.
52. A mysterious girl showed up online with a story that's just mind-boggling. She claimed she was born in 2006, but was actually from the future. Yep, you heard that right.
I'm a doctor by profession. Most importantly, I was born in 2006. Of course, you may have questions because it's obvious that I'm not 16 years old.
She said she worked for a company called Lab Geo in 2028, which was doing some major medical breakthroughs.
I received a job offer from an organization that was engaged in various experiments related to physical and psychological tests on humans. The company is called Lab Geo, which was founded in 2024 in Canada.
But when things went wrong, she had to escape using a prototype time machine. She even shared newspapers from 2027 featuring future events like Mars colonization and new tech. The clip went viral, sparking tons of controversy and skepticism. People were split. Some thought it was a stunt. So what do you think? Is some people tech? The 27 featuring future events like Mars colonization and new tech. The clip went viral, sparking tons of controversy and skepticism. People were split. Some thought it was a stunt. So what do you think? Is it a glimpse into the future or just another wild story? Sometimes the future's just a click away.
You can see this newspaper was published on February 26, 2027.
Victor Goddard. Sometimes fate takes you for a ride you weren't expecting. In 1935, Victor Goddard was flying his plane from Edinburgh to Andover when he decided to check out an old, abandoned airstrip from World War I. While he was flying over, a wild storm hit and he lost control. But once he regained it, things got weird. Below him, that once abandoned airstrip was now fully operational, with new planes parked around it, ones he didn't recognize. He even glimpsed some future events before a vortex yanked him back to the present. Many chalked it up to a hallucination. But here's the thing. In 1939, the airstrip was renovated with the exact planes he had seen back in 1935. Time traveler? Maybe. But one thing's for sure. Sometimes the future flies in sooner than you think. Time tale from 8973. Back in 2018, a guy named William Tyler claimed he time traveled to some wild years like 3000 and 8973. He even took a lie detector test during an—
What? 3000 8973.
3000 and 8973. He even took a lie detector test during an interview to prove it.
Lie detectors aren't a 100% guaranteed way of telling if somebody's telling the truth. Are you an actual time traveler who has visited the future?
Yes, I am.
William said that in 8973, he met some super evolved beings with mind-reading abilities and super advanced tech.
I remember they had abnormally large heads and large eyes as well.
And did you talk with them?
I did, yes. I spoke to them for quite some time, and they told me that they lived forever, and they also didn't seem too surprised that I was there, which led me to believe that time travel was quite a commonplace thing at that period of time in the future.
But in the year 3000, things were totally different. It was a dystopian mess, with pollution everywhere and the world in ruins.
The trip to the year 3000 was a trip to a place where I don't think I'd want to be for too long. And the sky was completely red. There was pollution everywhere.
People online are split about his story. Some think it was all just a setup, while others believe he was telling the truth. And get this, he also predicted that by 2028, time travel tech might be available to everyone, and we'll have super smart AI. Well, that's not too far off.
What did I say? I believe in time travel and that it exists. Let's play that part back.
He also predicted that by 2028, time travel tech might be available to everyone, and will—
Only 4 years away, not even. Because we're already in October. 3 years. Let's see. That'll be crazy.
We'll have super smart AI. Well, that's not too far off. Let's see what the future brings.
There are plans on releasing time travel as a technology to the public in the year 2028. I think it would be beneficial for humanity to know and understand that fact.
Hipster mystery.
Hell yeah!
The original. Is this the original?
Oh!
Oh, sure, это же оригинал.
Holy cow, you guys. Oh my goodness.
Ever heard of the time-traveling hipster? This curious photo, unearthed from a 1940s Canadian museum, showed a man who looks like he's straight out of today's hipster scene. The pic captured the reopening of the Southport Bridge in British Columbia.
Reopening of Southport Bridge after being washed out in...
But this guy's outfit stood out. While some claim his casual look and modern sunglasses were proof of time travel, others argued that his style fits well with 1930s hockey jerseys and knitted sweaters. Just more laid back compared to the crowd. So, was this a slip through the time stream, or just a casual dresser from the past? I guess we'll never know.
В хорошем качестве, кстати, фотография. Прекрасно видно футболку с буквой М, фотографию в руках.
Mirror glitch.
And his face is moving. Look at that, his face just moved, but the guy in the mirror seemed the same.
In this bizarre footage, a man at a stoplight noticed something odd in his rear view mirror. The reflection of the man in the car ahead was eerily still.
His face just moved, but the guy in the mirror seemed the same.
While his face was moving normally. He even zoomed in to capture the strange anomaly. When the video hit the internet, it caused a stir. Some people thought it was just clever editing, while others speculated that it was evidence we are living in a simulation. Whatever the case, it was a reminder that sometimes reality might be stranger than fiction.
His face just moved, but the guy in the mirror seemed the same.
Yo, that's crazy. Yo! I'm telling you, he's even looking down.
Crypto
and the
future.
mirror stays the same.
After hearing my story today,
You may think I'm crazy, but everything I say is true. My name is Carlos. I was born and raised in Alicante.
Get ready to question everything you thought you knew. Carlos from Alicante, Spain, claimed he was not just an ordinary guy, but a time traveler from 2040.
Not from current times. I'm from the year 2040. I know it sounds like some sort of science fiction story, but it's absolutely true.
He revealed a future where cryptocurrency rules and a new payment system called coin salary dominates.
I was saying the world will soon change drastically, and it will start in 2028 when the cryptocurrency immediately became dominant over the dollar and the rest of the currencies we all know.
According to Carlos, 2028 will bring a seismic shift, and by 2029, QR codes will replace traditional IDs.
Everyone has a QR code on their hand.
Don't do that. Don't do none of that. You know? That right there, that's like sign of the beast type shit. Getting a chip on the hand or whatever. Nah, man, I don't need that. I don't need none of that on me. You know what I mean? You gotta remember that there's things in the Bible also that the Bible says that are coming to life, that are happening right now. You know what I mean? War, kingdom against kingdom. Right now there's war happening. All that's in the Bible. So, yeah, I'm not getting the mark of the beast.
Which contains all the information about that person.
He sold his future crypto for cash, then traveled back to 2016, living lavishly ever since. Was this story a wild fantasy or a peek into our future? You decide.
The maximum I could have was a small apartment in a bad neighborhood. I decided to sell everything I had, and I bought the seemingly useless old $100 bills. And I gave the rest of the crypto coins to a Time Machine Lab employee who secretly sent me back to 2016.
Mysterious iPad.
Whoa. Yeah, we're gonna have to play that back. Okay. This one's interesting. So he said that he made the money in the future through crypto. Then he bought useless. You heard what he said? Useless $100 bills. Useless? Like right now, you find a $100 bill right now, you'd be like, oh shit, you think you hit the lottery right now. So he got a bunch of useless $100 bills, came to 2016. Right? 2016 or 2006 to retire? That is crazy. I'm gonna play that back.
Since, was this story a wild fantasy or a peek into our future? You decide.
The maximum I could have was a small apartment in a bad neighborhood. I decided to sell everything I had, and I bought the seemingly useless old.
That is crazy. Wow.
The $100 bills. And I gave the rest of the crypto coins to a Time Machine Lab employee who secretly sent me back to 2016.
Wow.
Mysterious iPad. Sometimes we stumble upon videos that just leave us scratching our heads. Take this one from 1999, for example. It shows a political rally with a crowd of onlookers, but one person in that video stood out. Amidst the crowd, someone was holding what looked like an iPad. Weird, right? Considering iPads didn't exist until Apple released them in 2010? It's a real head-scratcher. This oddity got people talking. Could time travel be real? Or is it some kind of simulation glitch where things just don't add up? Either way, it makes you wonder about the strange and mysterious possibilities.
I don't know. What do you think, guys? There's an iPad. Or maybe it's, I don't know. I don't know. But it's not a camera. You know, it's not a camera or anything like that. It's, I don't know. Let me know what you guys think.
He's out there. Sometimes the past holds secrets that just don't fit. Cyborg warning. In 2020, a guy named Oren surfaced online, claiming he was a cyborg from 2050. Now, at first, no one took him seriously, but he agreed to an interview where he shared some wild details.
We are Orin, a collective conscious and cyborg sent by a higher civilization to warn humans of the incoming apocalypse.
Oren said future tech had turned him into a cyborg with a chip for communication. He claimed he had time traveled to 2050 and witnessed an AI-driven apocalypse. According to him, he was sent back by higher powers with a warning.
Humans are writing their own destruction with things such as disease, famine, environmental disaster, and technological singularity. We are here to warn humans and to prevent the fusion in the future that we have seen.
He urged everyone to unite and fight against a threat he called the corporation. Was he telling the truth or just spinning a story? Well, I guess we'll have to wait until 2050 to find out.
Yo, imagine that this dude was like abducted or something, right? And then the aliens showed him like the future, but kind of really like messed him up in the sense where he's like all like talking the way he's talking like a damn robot or something, right? And that let's imagine he's really spitting facts here. Imagine he's really telling the truth on that, right? Because, I mean, you think about it right now, there's war going on, you got food prices, you talk about famine, all that craziness. So, in 2050, and then that's the thing, you got all these computers, they want to make these robots. I don't know, man. But 2050, that's in 25 years, 26 years from now. Once again, we're in October, so about a little over 25 years from now.
I suppose sometimes the future's just a story waiting to be told.
Corporation aims and works solely for profit. We are here for the greater good of society. It is very much like the Matrix movie. This is all a simulation.
Boxing fan. Who doesn't love watching Tyson's powerful punches? Well, even a supposed time traveler seemed to be a fan. During a Mike Tyson fight in 1995, someone in the crowd was spotted holding what looked like a smartphone. Now, we know smartphones weren't around back then, so how could this guy have one? The internet went wild with theories about Tyson being a time traveler who'd come back to his own fight. Skeptics, however, weren't convinced. After some digging, experts discovered it was actually an early camcorder and not a smartphone.
They have solved the mystery. We did some digging and found out the device in the video is not a smartphone at all. It's an early version of a camcorder called the Dicam Logitech.
Vanishing act. At a Danish airport, a regular TV interview turned into something super bizarre. While the camera focused on a man being interviewed, viewers caught something strange happening in the background. A blonde woman just vanished into thin air as someone walked past her. Some skeptics waved it off as a camera glitch, claiming she just slipped into a blind spot, but others were haunted by the idea that it could have been something supernatural, like she slipped into another dimension. It became the talk of the town, with everyone debating what they saw. Time machine.
She was just standing there too.
In 2009, a video popped up online that left everyone scratching their heads. It showed what looked like an actual time machine, or maybe a dimensional portal of some sort. The footage captured a strange, round machine covered in lights, giving off a serious sci-fi vibe. As the camera person moved closer, the machine started going haywire, and suddenly, a portal-like thing appeared. But then, the footage went all glitchy, as the high frequency messed it up, and we never got to see what happened next. Some people believe the camera person got sucked into another dimension, while skeptics think it was just a clever hoax. Real or not, it's still one of those mysteries that makes you wonder what's really out there.
What up?
future confession.
Secret is that I came from 2030.
A man claimed he was from the year 2030, and his story was straight up crazy.
In 2027, there was a huge technical revolution in the world, which began in 2025.
Shout out to everybody in the chat. Smash that like button.
According to him, in the future, everyone will get a chip implanted that makes them super smart and super connected. But here's the kicker. He said he actually time traveled back to 2018 and even had this golden chip with him, supposedly the same one that'll be implanted in humans.
By the way, I will show it to you now. This little device, which at first sight is nothing, changed the whole world in just a few years. By the way, it is covered with real gold from the inside.
Naturally, the internet exploded with different reactions. Some people thought he was bluffing, saying it was all staged, while others believed he might actually be from the future, pointing out Elon Musk's Neuralink initiatives. Whether it's all a stunt or not, one thing's for sure. If he's right, the future's going to be unthinkable.
Greatly improved the ability to think, to remember. It can be said that the chip is a kind of brain upgrade.
Mystery Man. Back in the early 2000s, there was this mysterious guy called John Titor who showed up.
Yes, I know about this guy, John Titor. I know a lot about this guy. You know what I mean? At one point, he's from Florida. So the dude, at one point, I don't know if they're gonna say it here, right? But like I saw, man, hours of story about the dude, right? So then at one point he came back to Florida to stay with his parents and himself, but he was a little kid. So imagine you're staying at your mom and dad's house and you, but you're a little kid. And he's a grown-ass man. I think he was like in his 30s or some shit. I don't know if they're going to say that, but yo, the John Titor guy, that's what really got me down the rabbit hole. This was years ago. Let's see what they're going to say about him. This dude is legit. But yeah, he came from the future. Originally, he stopped the Y2K. I don't know if they're going to say it here, but he stopped the Y2K. Because he's from the future, and then he came back to the 80s. He came to the past to get a chip that he needed from a Mac computer or IBM or whatever the hell, not a Mac, I'm tripping, like an IBM, what are the old Macintosh, an old Macintosh computer, a piece he needed. And then when he was in the past, he interacted with somebody, and that interaction is what caused Y2K not to happen for us, but it did happen for him. He said Y2K happened in his future, but it didn't happen in our future. I wonder if they're going to say that here.
Up online saying he was a time traveler from 2036, and there's this one video where he appears to be walking into some kind of portal. According to him, he was part of a military unit called the Time Travel Division and detailed a C-204 time displacement unit that could mess with time. Titor made some wild predictions, like the end of the space shuttle program and the spread of mad cow disease. While some of his claims were true, many weren't. His sudden disappearance in 2001 left people puzzled. Was he a hoax or a secret agent sent to tweak history? The truth still remains hidden. Teleporting dog?
They didn't say nothing about him. But guys, look it up. This dude John Titor, yo, a lot, man. I went down a rabbit hole with this dude about freaking shit, like about 10, 15 years ago.
A few young guys were racing their cars down the highway. Everything was cool until, out of nowhere, a dog just appeared and crossed the road. The moment was so bizarre that people were losing their minds, saying the dog must have teleported from another dimension because there was no other way to explain it. Of course, skeptics suggested it was just a camera glitch or some clever editing, but after some deep analysis, experts claimed the footage was legit. So what's the deal? Could this really be a time-traveling dog? Or is there another explanation we're missing? It's one of those mysteries that leaves you questioning everything. Guardian Flash? In 2012, something super weird happened at a crossing. A truck was speeding toward a man who had no clue he was in danger. Just when they were about to collide, something or someone zipped in and whisked the man to safety. It all happened in the blink of an eye, but some sharp-eyed viewers noticed a flash in its hand before it calmly walked away.
Guys, I've seen this before, right? This video. I want you guys to let me know your thoughts. That's freaking insane. And then you see his hands glowing. You know what I mean? I've seen a bunch of different videos like this. Let me know your thoughts on this. I'm going to play it back again. But the dude speeds like he's a damn Flash. You know what I mean? And then teleports the dude. And then his hands start glowing. That's why he puts his hands, he or she, puts their hand in their pocket. Yo, man, crazy. Let me know what you guys thought about this. So I'm going to play it back. And look at that, look. Look at that flash shadow right there. Boom.
Guardian Flash? In 2012, something super weird happened at a crossing. A truck was speeding toward a man who had no clue he was in danger. Just when they were about to collide, something or someone zipped in and whisked the man to safety. It all happened in the blink of an eye, but some sharp-eyed viewers noticed a flash in its hand before it calmly walked away like nothing had happened. Both the man and the driver were left totally stunned, and even authorities were baffled. Was this some real-life Flash saving the day? Or maybe even a guardian ghost? I guess it's one of those things we might never figure out. But hey, sometimes life's mysteries are better left.
Yo, you even have the guy shaking. Look, up here. He's shaking. He even gets off and he even sits down in the corner. Imagine that dude is a time traveler and came to save a family member, let's say his father or something, that died in that accident. That's crazy. You actually saved a family member and you're from the future.
Left unsolved. Chase. A boy was just strolling down the street. Everything was normal, but then, bam! He suddenly looked back like he had seen something spooky. Next thing you know, a flashlight flashed on the screen, and that kid vanished into thin air. The internet exploded with theories. Some netizens were saying it was just a
Yeah, but he's looking around. He's looking around, like, making sure there's nobody around before he's gonna go ahead and jump and do that. You know what I mean? Like, all right, the coast is clear. Boom. Yo, that's crazy. Let me know if you guys think this is real.
Flick edit or a made-up video, while others thought the boy might be a time traveler who just jumped dimensions to escape something or someone. Was he fleeing from the future or just caught in a weird trick of the camera? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Time-twisted phone. Let's rewind to 1928 during the premiere of Charlie Chaplin's The Circus. In a bizarre twist, a man appeared with what looked like a modern cell phone. Except cell phones weren't even a thing back then. How could this be? For decades, netizens have cooked up wild theories. Some suggested it was a universe glitch, while others believed it hinted at time travel. Despite various explanations, the mystery persists. Was it a sneak peek into the future, or just an optical illusion? People are still talking about it to this day, and everyone has their own theories. Looks like it's a mystery that might never be solved. Time encounter.
Ja, det är något där under diskhon och bara kom längre och längre in där. Blev det ljust och kunde ställa mig upp på det här. Som äldre då, kanske 70 och sånt där.
Thinking about meeting your future self is pretty wild, right? Well, believe it or not, it actually happened to someone in 2006. This is the story of a Swedish guy named Hauen Nordqvist. One day, he came home and found his kitchen was totally flooded. While he was trying to fix the problem, he reached under the sink and suddenly found himself in another time and place. And there, he met his future self. The story might sound easy to dismiss, except for the fact he had a video on his phone that showed his older self, complete with the same tattoo on his arm. It seems like a solid case of time travel, though some people still think the video could have been edited.
Ingen tror på det. Finns inte en chans att folk kommer tro på det här. Så jag hade ju med mig mobilen så jag kunde filma det. Vi stod där och tjafsade lite. Och, det var riktigt god känsla.
That's crazy. Yo, what do you guys think about that? So he crawled in to the bottom of his sink and ended up in the future. I mean, seeing his future self.
Hur gött som helst.
Vanished man. Back in the 1950s, something really strange went down at Tokyo's Hana Airport. A well-dressed man showed up with a passport from a place called Torrid, a country no one had ever heard of before. He had all the right documents, and everything seemed legit. But no one could figure out where this mysterious Torrid was. So the authorities took him in for questioning and placed him in a hotel room. But when they went to check on him the next day, he had vanished without a trace. No one ever figured out what happened to him, but some believe he might have been a time traveler or even an interdimensional traveler. Versailles Mystery. Sometimes the past doesn't stay in the past. In 1901, two English women named Moberly and Jourdain had a seriously strange experience while wandering around the gardens of Versailles. They were looking for the Petit Trianon, connected to Marie Antoinette, when suddenly they found themselves back in the late 18th century. Sounds wild, right? Well, they even saw people in old-fashioned outfits and buildings that didn't exist anymore. Oh, and of course they swore they spotted Marie Antoinette herself. When they came back to the present, experts chalked it up to hallucinations or maybe just being overly tired. But Moberly and Jourdain were convinced it was real. Was it time travel? Or maybe something paranormal? Nobody really knows. But it's a mystery that'll leave you guessing. Future buzz. In 2018, a guy stirred up the internet by claiming he traveled to the year 6000. He said he was on a top-secret military mission that sent him far into the future. According to him, technology in 6000 was beyond our wildest dreams. He even showed a photo of a futuristic city he snapped while he was there.
Now you may notice that the actual picture itself is a little distorted. That is because in the time travel process, pictures tend to get distorted.
He mentioned that time travel was pretty common back then, and predicted that we'd have this tech by the end of the decade. So, were his claims just hype, or will we see these advancements soon? We didn't see them in 2020, that's for sure. So I guess we'll find out as the years roll on. Sometimes, the future's just a prediction away.
Now you may notice that the actual picture itself is a little distorted. That is because in the time travel process, pictures tend...
I'm gonna have to call cap on that one. You know what I mean? I ran out of lemon heads. I'm gonna have to call cap on that. I don't believe that guy. That picture, really, dude? And only one picture? Come on.
...to get distorted.
Time traveler? In 1950, something strange occurred when a man named Rudolph, wearing old-fashioned clothes, showed up in Times Square and had an accident. When the cops examined him, they found unusual items. A token for a 5-cent beer from a bar no one knew about, a bill for horse care, and old banknotes worth $70, all perfectly preserved. The police couldn't figure out who he was, but they found a man whose father had vanished in 1876, stirring up theories about Rudolph's true identity. Now, some think it's just a tall tale, while others see it as a real mystery. But to make things even stranger, a newspaper article appeared before the incident, adding another layer to the mystery.
What is this? Double drop gem? It can trigger continuous drops and increase drop rate by...
Mystery of Rudolph Fentz. Curious, isn't it? Vanished genius. Ever heard of Ettore Majorana, the physicist who vanished without a trace? Born in 1906, Majorana was known for his groundbreaking work on neutrinos and Majorana fermions. In 1938, he disappeared, leaving behind a cryptic note hinting at his possible departure or disappearance. Theories about his fate are split. Some believed he was disillusioned with how his research was being used after World War II and might have escaped through time travel or alternate dimensions. Others think he met a tragic end. The truth remains elusive, sparking endless speculation. Sometimes, the most brilliant minds leave behind the greatest of mysteries. Time-worn glare. They say history has a way of repeating itself. In 2019, teenage climate activist Greta Thunberg went viral after giving a memorable glare at President Trump during a UN speech. But things took a wild turn when people noticed her uncanny resemblance to a girl working in a mine from 1898. As the video spread, theories exploded. Some suggested Greta herself might be a time traveler sent to save us, while others thought it was just a strange coincidence. So, what's the real story? Are we looking at a case of time travel, or just an odd twist of fate? Sometimes we're left with more questions than answers.
I don't believe that one.
Time to go back. A 27-year-old German man was seen at the airport, looking totally normal with his bags. But just 10 minutes later, he was spotted running frantically without his bags, as if he was fleeing from something or someone. He sprinted out of sight, and that was the last anyone saw of him. So, where did he go? Some thought he might have been a time traveler who rushed back to his own timeline after witnessing something crazy in the future. But what's your take on this? Was he escaping from something in the future, or is there another more plausible explanation? Drop your theories in the comments.
Yo, what the hell? He left his book bag, his luggage. Like, what the hell? Why would you leave that stuff in the airport? Like, where did you leave it at?
Glitch in the Matrix. They say reality sometimes plays tricks on us. At a Russian intersection, cars were waiting for the green light when something bizarre happened. As the light changed and traffic began moving, two cars collided, but one of them seemed to appear out of nowhere, as if it materialized from thin air. The footage of this strange incident went viral instantly. With such a weird occurrence, theories started flying. Some think it's a glitch in the Matrix. Others suspected secret government portals, but many believed it could be time travel. What do you think happened here? Was it a real time traveler or something else entirely? Share your thoughts in the comments. Russian scientist. In Russia, something truly strange unfolded on a highway. A lorry swerved suddenly to avoid hitting a man who seemed to appear out of nowhere. The guy was dressed in a lab coat with black boots, and he looked utterly disoriented, as if he had no idea where he was. The truck driver, who narrowly missed him, stopped to check it out. The footage quickly went viral, sparking all kinds of theories. Some people think it's proof that Russia is testing futuristic tech, or even experimenting with teleportation. It was like something straight out of a sci-fi movie. So what's the deal here? Well, no one knows for sure. Sometimes, reality feels just as wild as fiction. Missouri guy. In 1995, Mike Markham from Missouri started building a time machine in his house. He used an electric Jacob's ladder and a modified CD laser to create a weird heat vortex. Amazingly, it worked, making objects disappear and reappear. So he decided to build a bigger machine to transport humans through time. By 1997, he had his larger machine, but needing heavy electricity. He tapped into the local grid station. It was a disaster. When the police checked his house, Markham was gone. Strangely, there was a connection to a body found on a Florida beach in the 1930s. Did Markham travel back and meet his end? It's a wild theory, but the truth still remains a mystery. I suppose sometimes the quest for discovery leads people to the most unexpected places. Time travel snack? On a night in January 2016, something bizarre happened in an unknown location. A homeless person was sleeping in front of a store when a couple walked by, found it closed, and left. Shortly after, a man in a black hoodie approached the store, walked straight into the closed door, and vanished inside. As he entered, the camera and lights went haywire. Minutes later, he emerged with a sandwich. The footage sparked wild theories, with one popular idea being that the hoodie-clad man was a hungry time traveler. The homeless person reported feeling something odd, but didn't see anyone enter or leave. It's like a scene straight out of a sci-fi movie. strange sight. Now this was something you definitely don't see every day. In France, locals were left scratching their heads over a bizarre scene. In the middle of a parking lot, there sat a car.
Yo, imagine just like that last video, you could just walk in, get what you want, walk out. He did that shit like a ghost. You know what I mean? Damn. And he went in, but he went to the deli, made himself a sandwich.
Nothing unusual, except for the fact that a fully grown tree was sticking right out of it. People were standing around, totally stunned, trying to figure out how it was even possible. Some even checked underneath the car. And guess what? It was 100% real. But how on earth could this happen? Some thought it was a time-traveling car with a parking problem, while others suggested it was a glitch in the Matrix. Who knows what the truth is? But for sure, it was a heck of a mystery. Teleportation mystery. When crossing the road, dodging high-speed traffic is usually the goal, right? Well, this guy seemed to skip that part entirely. In a CCTV clip, a person suddenly appeared on the other side of the road out of nowhere. Like, 1 second he wasn't there, and the next he was. The footage was so clear that it left people baffled, sparking wild theories about a glitch in the Matrix or something equally bizarre. Maybe it was just some clever video editing, or perhaps, if we're thinking outside the box, a man teleporting from another dimension. Jokes aside, no one's been able to explain it, so the mystery remains unsolved. Just another reminder that the universe still has its secrets. Spooky teleportation.
Is that a giant? Oh.
There was this freaky video that blew up online. And I mean seriously, this one was wild. It starts with a woman walking outside totally by herself. All of a sudden, she stops and reaches out like she's grabbing something, but there was nothing there. Then, out of nowhere, a little girl just appears right next to her. The weirdest part? The woman wasn't even phased. It's like she'd done it 1,000,000 times before. People were convinced the woman summoned the girl. And the fact that she seemed so chill about it made it all the spookier. So what's the real deal here? Was the girl a
Yo, that's crazy. Like, yo, there's nobody right next to her. And then the little girl appears?
teleporter? Or did the woman somehow make this happen? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Paddled mystery. Sometimes what you see isn't always what's real. In this puzzling video, while the camera holder was chatting with musicians, a man on a bicycle seemingly materialized in the background. What made this even creepier was that nobody around seemed to notice, like he appeared out of thin air. This footage quickly went viral and sparked debates across the internet. Experts suggested it might have been a perspective trick or editing manipulation. Logical explanations aside, some people still weren't buying it. They were convinced that the cyclist had to have appeared out of nowhere, making this a mystery that stirred endless controversy. Sometimes, life's strangest moments don't come with explanations. Time mystery. Recently, archaeologists uncovered something totally bizarre from a sealed Ming Dynasty tomb that left scientists scratching their heads. Inside, they found a modern-looking Swiss ring watch in a 400-year-old tomb. Yeah, you heard that right. Swiss! Even though Switzerland didn't exist until much later on. People went with wild theories, from time travelers to hoaxes. Some skeptics claimed it might have been left behind by tomb raiders, while others can't shake the idea that it could be a time traveler's watch. Whatever the case, no one can explain how this watch ended up there. Makes you wonder, do we really know as much as we think about time as we do? Well, time certainly has a funny way of messing with us. Scooter slip. A lady was unloading her luggage from a car trunk, and everything looked to be normal. But then, as she bent down, a guy on a scooter zoomed by. And whoosh, he vanished into thin air with a weird white streak. The video went viral and sparked all kinds of theories. Some people said it was a glitch in the Matrix, or maybe a time traveler on the run. Skeptics, however, argued it could just be a camera glitch or an editing trick. Well, whatever it was, it left everyone else scratching their heads. So what's your take? Matrix mishap or time traveling stunt? Go ahead, drop those comments below. Advanced ladies. If you're skeptical about time travel, this one here might make you rethink it. In an old 1938 video, everything seemed normal until two ladies caught attention. One of them appeared to be talking on a mobile phone, something that did not exist back then. So naturally, this odd sight raised a couple eyebrows. Was it just a piece of cloth resembling a phone? Or were these ladies actually time travelers? The theories are wild, but there's no...
So you see, she is actually gonna put it down.
Solid proof to back up the claims. It's a head scratcher that keeps us wondering, was it a glitch or a glimpse into the future?
I mean, but she's in her own world. She's talking to somebody, like her hand is up and she's interacting with somebody, but she's not talking to people next to her. That is crazy.
Open discussion. Recently, a mysterious video appeared online from a man named Viktor Nikolaev, claiming to be from the year 2133. He's got some wild news. Time travel was invented by 2050, and he's here to fix the past.
In the year 2050, scientists started developing the first methods of what we consider time travel. It started opening the door to the possibility that people could go back into the past.
Sounds weird, right? Well, according to Victor, the future isn't all flying cars and moon colonies. Instead, we're facing huge problems like plastic storms and a world where people are controlled before they even act. He even mentions Donald Trump's bizarre attempt to become Canada's Prime Minister.
In 2020, the United States President Donald Trump will lose the election, and this will cause him to try and become the Prime Minister of Canada. This will also fail and have a very bad effect on the world years later on.
Was this guy for real, or was it all a high-tech hoax? What's your take?
Many people think the future will have flying cars and we will live on the moon, but this is not true. Yes, things will be different, better, but there are many problems. They arrest you before you do a crime, governments control the people, people are very unhappy, they are like machines.
Thank you very much.
I don't know about that, guys. I think that guy's bullshit. You know what I mean? I'm gonna have to call cap on that one. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Like people that say they're from the future, you know what I mean? There's some, with that I have a little problem. You know what I mean? The proof, the other dude with that picture. If you know that pictures get messed up, how you gonna just have one picture? I'm like, yo, there's a bunch of pictures right here. You see, they're all kind of fucked up, but you can still see some shit, ass shit. Come on. You know what I mean? It's all BS. Alright, guys. So, with that down, let's go ahead, okay, and check out. There are going to be some mysterious videos. Let's see here. Check out the chat. Let's see. We make a time machine. What that? Yeah, I want that time machine to be built in my lifetime. I would travel in time. If it's safe, that's something I would do. You know what I mean? If I can go back in time, but they won't let you do that. You know what I mean? They'll let you just go back and you're not going to be able to interact with yourself. You know what I mean? But yeah, I would. Okay. Some of them are scamming. Yeah, I don't believe some of them, guys. It makes the real-time traveler look bad. Would you go back in time or forward? I don't know, depending on the situation. Like, I mean, you know what? It's if I can't go back in time to change anything, you know what I mean? I will probably just go see and look at the future and see how the future looks. You know what I mean? Because I'm not gonna be alive, especially if it's far in the future and I'm not gonna be alive. I'm like, well, let me go ahead and see it now while I'm alive. Let me experience it. because, you know, because remember, you're still going to be like on a ship. It's not like you're going to be able to go to the future and get out, walk around, you know, because I did hear a bunch of years back, that's what I'm saying, that in that the way the time travel works is that you'll be like in this pod, right? And so you'll be time traveling, but let's say you're gonna go to let's say the assassination of, let's say, Abraham Lincoln or something like that. So you'll be there, but you won't be able to interact or change anything or do, you know what I mean? You just be there like invisible. But you know what I mean? Supposedly something like that. But you won't be able to change anything. So if that's the case, if I can't change nothing, let me just go to the future and see how it's gonna look. See if any of my kids, grandkids or great grandkids, whatever it is, you know, my bloodline is still around. So, alright guys. So with that down, let's go ahead and continue, guys. I have here a video from the one, the only Slapped Ham. Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and check out what he has here. Okay, so let's go ahead and open this up right here. Let's see what we have, guys. Alright, once again, if you guys are new to the channel, subscribe. Make sure you guys smash that like. It does help out the channel, guys. So let's go ahead and continue.
How you doing? I'm Callan and this is Slapped Ham. You're about to see some seriously spooky clips that no one can quite explain. So hit that subscribe button and get ready for more creepy content.
Just like
this.
Our first clip of the day comes from Reddit user Camo3. On July 21st, 2024, just before 7 PM, a home security camera in Colombia captured something truly strange. Take a look.
What the fuck? Yeah, did you guys see that?
Watching that in slow motion, the footage shows an unidentified object flying towards the door of a home. That's when suddenly a man falls backwards out the door and onto the ground.
What the hell?
Fortunately, the man wasn't badly injured by the incident, but reports say he did go to hospital for a checkup. The video has since gone viral, with many viewers speculating about the nature of the strange object and its potential role in the man's sudden fall. Some believe the object caused the man to fall back violently. However, skeptics think the incident is just a coincidence, suggesting that the flying object might be a moth close to the camera's lens, while the man happened to fall over inside of the house simultaneously. Yet this theory doesn't fully explain what happened to the man inside of the home. So what's going on here? What is this strange object, and what caused the man to fall outside of the house so suddenly? The mystery remains unsolved, leaving viewers to speculate and debate the true nature of this truly eerie incident.
Damn, what the hell was that?
We asked young women to read true accounts of illegal abortions before Roe v. Wade.
He said there's going to be a new wave of patriotism coming out, and that's whenever I saw Trump.
A startling video's been making waves across social media. The footage, originally posted to the YouTube channel Steve Cioccolanti and Discover Ministries, seems to eerily predict the recent assassination attempt on former President Donald Trump. The video has sparked intense debate, with some claiming it could be proof of a genuine prophecy. On July 13, 2024, Trump narrowly escaped death while addressing a crowd at a campaign rally near Butler, Pennsylvania. One of the bullets grazed Trump's upper right ear, leaving him wounded but alive. The incident shocked the nation, but what has people talking now is a video made 4 months before the attack that seems to predict the event in astonishing detail. Take a listen to the interview.
And I saw Trump rising up, and then I saw an attempt on his life. This bullet flew by his ear, and it came so close to his head that it busted his eardrum. And I saw he fell to his knees during this time frame, and he started worshiping the Lord. He got radically born again during this time frame. I'm talking, people say he's saved now, but he becomes really on fire for Jesus, for what I saw coming.
The video in question was uploaded on March 15th, 2024, 4 months before the assassination attempt.
This bullet flew by his ear, and it came so close to his head that it busted his eardrum.
The interviews between Pastor Steve Cioccolanti, a Christian author and leader of Discover Ministries, and Brandon Biggs, a self-proclaimed prophet. The accuracy of the details, from the bullet grazing Trump's ear to the intense spiritual impact it would have on him, has left many wondering if Biggs' vision was more than just a coincidence.
He got radically born again during this time frame. I'm talking, people say he's saved now, but he becomes really on fire for Jesus, for what I saw coming.
Biggs regularly shares what he claims are visions of the future on his YouTube channel titled Last Days, where he discusses everything from global events to the so-called end of days. His interview with Cioccolanti, who is known for his own commentary on the impending second coming of Christ, has now garnered nearly 2 million views, with viewers divided over whether this was a genuine prophecy or just an eerie coincidence.
And then I saw an attempt on his life. This bullet flew by his ear, and it came so close to his head that it busted his eardrum.
So was this a true prophecy or simply a strange twist of fate?
Yo, imagine that the dude that did that saw this video. This is 4 months before. So imagine he did that, and he's like, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and do exactly that. I don't know.
The video has left viewers questioning the boundaries of reality, faith, and the mysterious ways in which the future might reveal itself. Whether or not you believe in Biggs' prophetic abilities, there's no denying that this video has captured the imagination of many, leaving us all to wonder, could this really be a glimpse into the divine?
Fire all throughout America, all throughout, and I saw Trump rising up, and then I saw an attempt on his life. This bullet flew by his ear, and it came so close to his head that it busted his eardrum.
The demon!
A curious piece of footage was recently submitted to our Slaptam subreddit by one of our followers, Punkin Man, and it's left many scratching their heads. The video, captured on a local church's CCTV system, reveals something quite strange. In the clip, a group of children can be seen playing in the church's rec room, when suddenly something eerie happens. Take a look.
Watch, John. Are you watching the same? It's not moving. No way. Oh, no. Watch.
A pool cue begins to move all on its own.
Oh. Watch, John. Watch.
It hurts so bad.
As if the movement isn't eerie enough, this happens.
It's still moving! It's still moving, y'all! It's still moving! It's still moving!
If it floats in the air and goes from the child, you'll freak out.
For years, those connected to the church have whispered about strange occurrences within the building. Some have reported objects mysteriously moving on their own, while others claim to have heard unexplainable noises echoing through the empty halls. The footage seems to lend credence to these tales, leaving many to wonder if the church is truly haunted. However, not everyone's convinced. While some viewers are quick to attribute the incident to paranormal activity, others suspect that the children might be playing a prank. Still, the way the cue breaks so suddenly has left even skeptics feeling uneasy. So what do you think? Is it just a clever trick played by the kids, or does the footage show something more mysterious at work?
It's still moving! It's still moving, y'all!
The YouTube channel UFOs and Aliens Santana has recently shared some intriguing footage. The video, recorded on September 28, 2019 in Chile, appears to capture an unidentified object drifting through the air above a city.
¿What? Es una bruja. No. Más cerca. Más cerca.
In the footage, one of the bystanders can be heard comparing the object to a bruja, or witch.
Guys, what do you think? but it's not normal. Like, it's not ours. That looks crazy.
What? Una bruja.
It looks like if the person is sitting down on like a chair and floating with the chair.
Más cerca. Más cerca.
This comparison adds an eerie layer to the sighting, as the term bruja has deep roots in Latin American folklore. A bruja is traditionally a witch, often depicted as a woman who practices varying types of magic. The concept of the bruja dates back to the pre-Columbian era, where indigenous beliefs and European witchcraft fused to create the image of a powerful and sometimes malevolent sorceress. In many tales, brujas are said to have the ability to transform into animals, fly through the night, and cast curses or spells on those who cross them. The image of a witch riding on a broomstick is a well-known symbol in Western culture, and it seems this particular sighting in Chile has drawn on these ancient associations. So what exactly was captured in the sky over Chile? While some are quick to attribute the sighting to a paranormal encounter with a bruja, others are more skeptical, suggesting it could be anything from a drone to a weather balloon. The unusual movement and shape of the object, however, continue to baffle those who have seen the footage.
Más cerca. Más cerca.
Oh, the cranberry. Cute on the outside.
Here's a strange one from Reddit user F1E Valentine that's been puzzling viewers. After developing some film from a recent hiking trip in West Virginia, the user noticed something eerie in one of the photos.
Oh, I see it.
The picture, taken at the top of a mountain in a state park, shows a cement column along a hiking trail. Behind the column, where there should be nothing but a sheer drop into the woods below, there appears to be a hand reaching around it. Given that the park was deserted during their visit, and with such a steep drop just behind the column, the idea of another person being there seems highly unlikely. Some viewers have suggested that the mysterious hand might actually just be some kind of fungus or mushrooms growing on the column, creating an illusion. Others, with a bit of humour, have likened the scene to the start of a bad horror movie, an ominous prelude to something far more sinister. So what's really going on here then? Is this just a trick of nature, or did the OP capture something more mysterious during their hike? The Facebook page Mysterious Creatures, known for sharing intriguing photos and videos of cryptid sightings, recently posted a video that's caught the attention of many Bigfoot enthusiasts. According to the post, a man in Georgia claims to have encountered a Bigfoot while driving, spotting the creature as it ran across the road and into the woods. Intrigued and determined to capture proof, he followed the creature, managing to film what he saw. The footage shows a large bipedal figure moving through the dense woods. The creature's distinct, resonating calls can be heard throughout the video, adding an eerie authenticity to the sighting. Viewers have been amazed by the video, with many calling it one of the most convincing Bigfoot sightings in years. The debate continues as people analyse the footage, with some asserting that this could finally be the proof that Bigfoot enthusiasts have been seeking for so long. Coming up in our last segment in just a few seconds, we take a look at a fascinating story about how the bassist of Black Sabbath may have been visited by a psychic orb. But before we do, remember to hit that subscribe button, then tickle that little bell icon there and turn on all channel notifications. That way you'll be in the loop every time we drop our scary and creepy videos. Black Sabbath bassist Geezer Butler recently made a fascinating claim on a podcast about an unusual experience that he believes granted him psychic abilities. The 74-year-old rock legend shared that he was once visited by a mysterious orb, which he described as resembling a crystal ball. According to Butler, the orb not only gave him a glimpse into his future, but also revealed that he would become a music star. Butler recounted how, during his childhood, he shared a bedroom with his father in their cramped Victorian home. One night, he felt an orb hovering just above his head. As he looked into it, he saw a vision of a stage and a figure playing a guitar. A vision that eerily foreshadowed his future as a member of one of the most iconic heavy metal bands in history. He then said the orb disappeared, seemingly returning up the chimney, leaving Butler with a prophetic sense of his own destiny. Butler's belief in his psychic abilities doesn't stop there. He shared another incident where a dream he had about being trapped in an elevator with fellow Black Sabbath member Tony Iommi came true, reinforcing his conviction in his newfound psychic abilities. Throughout his life, Butler has had other spiritual experiences, including seeing an apparition gliding down the stairs as a child. These encounters have only deepened his belief in the supernatural and his connection to the spiritual world. Geezer Butler's stories add yet another layer of mystique to the already legendary status of Black Sabbath, hinting that perhaps there was more to their rise to fame than just talent and hard work. Maybe a bit of the otherworldly was involved as well. Over on our second channel, Slapped Ham Mysteries, we've just taken a
Oh yeah. Guys, there you have it. Bam. Oh, mystery videos, guys. Time travel stuff. Yo, that was bugged out. Let me know what you guys thought about that, man. That whole Trump stuff. Yo, like I said, man, when it comes to this time travel stuff, I believe in it. Okay. So, hey, check it out now, guys. For the last and final video, we're gonna go ahead and move on with the dark history of the Ouija board. Now, look, this is a game that I've always said. Listen, that's one game I'm never playing. Never messing with the Ouija board. None of that. It's crazy to me how you can just pick one up at Walmart. You know what I mean? Or at a toy store. That's crazy. So I don't play with it. I would never play with it. I would never mess with it. I ain't with that. That's all devil shit, hell stuff, demon stuff. I don't mess with none of that. You start messing with that, you're gonna open up something that you wish you didn't open. You know what I mean? So on that one, guys, let's go ahead and check it out. This is the dark history of the Ouija board. Once again, this is gonna be from the Slapped Ham Mysteries. Alright, guys, once again, smash that like button. It does help out the channel. Subscribe if you're new. Let's continue. Here we go. Last video of the night.
In a dimly lit room, the wooden planchette glides effortlessly across the Ouija board, its movements seemingly guided by an unseen hand. For over a century, this simple board, etched with letters, numbers, and the words yes and no, has been a portal to the unknown, a bridge between the living and the dead, or the story goes. But what is it about the Ouija board that has captivated, terrified, and mystified generations? Is it merely a parlor game born from Victorian-era spiritualism? Or does it hold the power to unlock a door to the supernatural? As we delve into the murky origins and chilling tales surrounding this iconic artifact, one question lingers. Are we the ones moving the planchette? Or is something or someone moving it for us? This is the dark history of the Ouija board.
Ya camino.
The Ouija board originated in Chestertown, Maryland in 1886 and was first manufactured in Baltimore in 1890. Credit for the invention of the board goes to Charles Kennard and Elijah Bond, who were partners in the Kennedy Novelty Company.
I'll be back, guys.
They sought to patent their creation with the assistance of Helen Peters Nosworthy, Bond's sister-in-law, who was known for her involvement in spiritualism and mediumship. The result was a wooden board that featured a full alphabet, numbers, and simple words: yes, no, and goodbye. The heart-shaped pointer, known as a planchette, would appear to move autonomously, presumably deciphering messages sent from beyond. Their initial attempts to secure a patent had been met with skepticism and outright rejection. A board that could communicate with the dead? It was a preposterous notion, one that patent officers dismissed as mere charlatanry. But Bond, a determined patent attorney, knew they needed more than just paperwork and persuasion to convince the authorities. They needed to prove the board's efficacy in a way that couldn't easily be dismissed. On a brisk February morning, they found themselves standing before the chief patent officer in Washington, D.C. The room was tense with anticipation as the officer, a man of stoic demeanor and skeptical mind, issued a challenge that would make or break their claim. "If this board can't spell out my name," he declared, "a name which you could not possibly know, I will grant your patent." With a calm nod, Bond, Peters, and Kennard took their seats around the wooden board. Silence fell over the room as Peters placed her finger on the planchette, the small heart-shaped piece of wood that would serve as the medium's conduit. The officer's eyes narrowed, his breath barely audible as he watched the scene unfold. The planchette began to move. At first, it was slow, hesitant, as though it were testing the waters between the living and the dead. Then, with increasing speed, it glided over the letters, spelling out a name, his name. Letter by letter, it revealed what was supposed to be a well-guarded secret. The room grew colder, the air thick with a sense of something otherworldly, as the final letter was revealed. The chief patent officer's face turned ashen. He stared at the board, his skepticism shattered. Whether it was the result of Peter's genuine psychic connection or Bond's legal acumen and knowledge of the officer's identity, the demonstration had worked. The man, visibly shaken, could not deny what had just transpired before his eyes. On that day, February 10, 1891, the Ouija board was no longer just a peculiar toy. It was a patented invention recognized by the United States government. And with that, a new chapter in the strange and mysterious history of the Ouija board had begun. By the early 1890s, the Ouija board was no longer a mere curiosity. It was a sensation, spreading like wildfire across America and beyond.
You got goosebumps, yo. This is something I don't recommend people to mess with. Don't mess with the Ouija board, man, because that's evil. I truly believe that. Nothing positive comes out of a Ouija board.
Kennard Novelty Company, once a small operation based in a single Baltimore factory.
Hey, this is the last video of the night, guys. So, once again, make sure to smash that like. And hope everybody's having an awesome night.
Had rapidly expanded. By 1892, the company boasted 7 factories, 2 in Baltimore, 2 in New York, 2 in Chicago, and even 1 in London. The demand for the mysterious talking board was insatiable, and with it came the inevitable pressures of success. But with success came complications. By 1893, the internal dynamics of the company had shifted dramatically. Elijah Bond and Charles Kennard, the very men who had brought the Ouija board to life, found themselves ousted from the company they had helped build. The cause? The same old adage that has undone many partnerships. Money changes everything. The pressures of rapid expansion and the lure of greater profits created rifts that could not be mended. And soon, the control of the company fell into the hands of a man who had been there from the beginning, William Fuld. Fuld, a Baltimore native with a sharp eye for business, had started as an employee and stockholder in the fledgling company. But with Kennard and Bond out of the picture, Fuld took the reins. Under his leadership, the Ouija board was transformed from a popular novelty into a cultural phenomenon. Fult's dedication to the product and his savvy marketing strategies ensured that the Ouija board became a household name, firmly embedded in the fabric of American entertainment. Yet Fult's story is tinged with an eerie twist that seems almost too strange to be coincidence. In 1927, after decades of overseeing the production of the Ouija board, Fuld died in a tragic accident, a fall from the roof of his newly constructed factory. It was a factory he had often claimed that the Ouija board itself had instructed him to build. Whether his death was a bizarre accident or something more sinister, it cast a long shadow over the board's legacy, adding another layer of mystery to an already bizarre tale. It should be noted that Fuld never claimed to be the inventor of the Ouija board, though history would often mistakenly credit him as such, even in the pages of the New York Times. But what he did do was transform the Ouija board from a simple parlor game into a cultural icon, one that continues to intrigue and unnerve us more than a century later. According to lore, the board named itself during a seance. It supposedly spelled out the word Ouija when asked for its name. Some claim the name is a combination of the French and German words for yes, oui, and ja. However, this theory is widely disputed. Other accounts suggest that the name comes from the Egyptian word for good luck, though no such word exists in the Egyptian language. Whatever the truth, the name Ouija has become synonymous with the dark art of spirit communication, adding to the board's mystique and aura of danger. By the early 20th century, the Ouija board had become a staple in American households. Families would gather around the board, hoping to reach out to lost loved ones or uncover secrets from the other side. The board's appeal was its simplicity. Anyone could use it, and it promised answers to life's most profound questions. During World War I, grieving families used Ouija boards to contact soldiers who had died on the battlefield. The Great Depression also saw a rise in Ouija board use. It became a beacon for those desperate for guidance and a tangible link to the ethereal. The Ouija board's strange allure has long captivated the public imagination, and American newspapers have frequently echoed this fascination with bizarre, unsettling tales that blur the line between reality and the supernatural. In 1920, the unsolved murder of New York City gambler Joseph Burton Elwell sent waves through the nation, as would-be sleuths armed with nothing more than a Ouija board and a belief in the paranormal claimed to receive clues from beyond the grave. Their efforts, however, only served to frustrate the police, who found themselves entangled in a web of superstition rather than solid leads. Just a year later, in 1921, the New York Times reported a chilling case out of Chicago. A woman committed to a psychiatric hospital insisted that she was not suffering from madness, but was instead following the instructions of Ouija spirits. These spectral voices had told her to leave her deceased mother's body in the living room for 15 days before finally burying her in the backyard.
Hey yo, what the fuck? What? Yo, you don't mess with that stuff. That is crazy. You see, you open something up, you get evil spirits and demons telling you to do some crazy shit like that? Oh, hell no.
The case, shocking in its macabre details, further fueled the public's uneasy fascination with the board's supposed connection to the spirit world. The strange stories didn't stop there. In 1930, the residents of Buffalo, New York, were gripped by the terrifying account of two women who, driven by messages they claimed to have received through a Ouija board, murdered another woman. The incident sent shockwaves through the community, highlighting the dangerous power that belief in the board could hold over the minds of the vulnerable or impressionable. Even the U.S. Army wasn't immune to the Ouija's influence. In 1941, a 23-year-old gas station attendant from New Jersey confided to the New York Times that he had joined the military because the Ouija board had directed him to do so. This bizarre enlistment story added another layer to the growing legend of the board's mysterious sway over people's lives. By 1958, the Ouija board had even found its way into the courtroom. A Connecticut court faced an unusual case involving the Ouija board will of Mrs. Helen Dow Peck, who left a mere $1,000 to two former servants, but an astonishing $152,000 to Mr. John Gale Forbes, a spirit who had allegedly contacted her through the Ouija board. The court, however, refused to honor this spectral inheritance, leaving the fortune unclaimed in the physical world. But the board's influence wasn't limited to crime and bizarre legal battles. It also touched the world of literature. In 1916, Mrs. Pearl Curran gained widespread attention for her poetic and narrative works, which she claimed were dictated by the spirit of a 17th century Englishwoman named Patience Worth. Her friend, Emily Grant Hutchings, followed suit the next year, asserting that her novel, Jap Heron, was communicated by none other than the late Samuel Clemens, better known as Mark Twain, via a Ouija board. While Hutchings' work garnered less acclaim, Curran's success hinted at the board's potential as a creative muse. The most significant literary achievement inspired by the Ouija board came in 1982, when Pulitzer Prize-winning poet James Merrill's epic poem, The Changing Light at Sandover, which he claimed was dictated by spirits through the Ouija board, won the National Book Critics Circle Award. Merrill, however, was more pragmatic about his use of the board, suggesting that it served more as a magnifier for his own creative thoughts than as a direct hotline to the spirit world. Through these tales, some eerie, others outright bizarre, the Ouija board solidified its place in American culture, not just as a parlor game, but as a mysterious force that seemed to reach into the darkest corners of the human psyche, stirring up fears, inspirations, and actions that defy rational explanation.
Yeah, my girlfriend's been upset with me.
From the outset, religious groups and skeptics cautioned that the Ouija board was not a harmless toy, but a gateway to dark forces. The concept of contacting the dead conflicted with religious teachings about the afterlife, where spirits were believed to either be at peace or in torment, not lingering on Earth. Furthermore, the board's association with the occult and supernatural fueled fears that it was a tool of deception that led individuals away from faith and into spiritual peril. There were early reports of people experiencing terrifying consequences after using the board, unexplained phenomena, bad luck, and even madness. Some believed that the board could summon malevolent spirits, who would then wreak havoc on the lives of those who dared to use it. These warnings, far from deterring use, only added to the board's dark allure. Parker Brothers' purchase of the Ouija board in 1966 brought it into the fold of a major toy and game company, which led to increased production, wider distribution, and more marketing.
And that's why you can buy it at Walmart right now. That's crazy.
Selling the Ouija board alongside other Parker Brothers products strengthened its status as a board game, not just a spiritualist tool. Under Parker Brothers, the Ouija board became the best-selling game in 1967, outselling Monopoly. The eerie, real-world crimes associated with the Ouija board didn't stop with the unsettling tales from the 20th century. As time marched on, the board continued to cast a dark shadow, linked to more heinous acts that further fueled its notorious reputation. In 1994, the Ouija board played a chilling role in the conviction of Stephen Young, a British insurance broker, for the brutal murders of Harry and Nicola Fuller. What set this case apart was the involvement of the jury, who, after struggling to reach a verdict, resorted to using a Ouija board to contact the victims. According to reports, the board confirmed Young's guilt, leading to his conviction. When the use of the board was revealed, it caused an uproar and even led to a retrial, but the damage to the board's reputation was already done. It had proven once again that in the hands of the desperate or superstitious, the Ouija board could influence real-world decisions with devastating consequences. In December 2008, a small community of Benton City was shaken by a horrifying double murder that seemed ripped from the pages of a horror novel. Joshua Tucker, a 16-year-old boy with a troubled past, was charged with the brutal killings of 13-year-old Elizabeth Shacklin and her mother, Ellen Laurie Shacklin. The details of the crime were chilling, but even more disturbing was the alleged motive behind it. According to Tucker's mother, Shannon Harrington, her son had been communicating with Satan through a Ouija board in the days leading up to the murders. Harrington claimed that Tucker spent 45 minutes talking to the devil before the entity supposedly possessed him, leading him to commit the heinous acts. She described her son as being in a trance-like state during the murders, watching himself from above as if he were not in control of his own actions. It was like Satan was using his hands, she told reporters, convinced that her son was...
Wow. That is, yo, that's why you don't mess with that, bro. You don't know what you're gonna open up. Yo. Just let the dead rest, okay? Just let the dead rest. You don't have to wake anybody up or none of that. It can cost you big time.
Was under the influence of something far beyond his understanding. Tucker's mother painted a picture of a good-hearted boy who had been led astray, caught in a dark and dangerous world he couldn't comprehend. She insisted that Joshua had been a caring and responsible child, forced to grow up too quickly due to her own health struggles and the instability of his upbringing. But the influence of the Ouija board, she believed, had opened a door to something evil that had taken hold of her son and turned him into a killer. The case was further complicated by Tucker's history of mental health issues and his involvement with Satanism, which Harrington said began after he was placed in the foster care system. She expressed her belief that her son would be better served in a mental hospital than in jail, arguing that his actions were the result of a possession rather than premeditated intent. As the trial unfolded, the story of Joshua Tucker and the Ouija board became a grim reminder of the dangers of delving into the unknown, particularly for vulnerable and impressionable minds. The tragedy left a community grappling with the incomprehensible and questioning how a simple game could lead to such devastating consequences. These later crimes, building on the earlier tales of murder and madness, have solidified the Ouija board's place in a history of infamy. No longer just a curiosity of the spiritualist movement, the board has become a symbol of the uncanny, its dark reputation etched into the fabric of modern folklore as a tool that in the wrong hands can unlock the most malevolent forces within the human mind.
I wouldn't be sitting here today without it. I was told since the age of 19 I was not able.
Hollywood, too, has played a significant role in shaping the public's perception of the Ouija board. The 1973 horror film The Exorcist is perhaps the most iconic example. In the film, a demon possesses a young girl named Reagan after she uses a Ouija board. Since then, the Ouija board has appeared in countless horror films, each one reinforcing its image as a conduit for malevolent spirits. Some of these films include Paranormal Activity from 2009, The Conjuring 2 in 2016, Witchboard 1986, I Am Zozo in 2012, White Noise in 2005, and The Exorcism of Emily Rose in 2005. These portrayals have only deepened the board's sinister reputation. Despite the Ouija board's dark reputation, science offers a different explanation for its mysterious workings. Many think that the psychological phenomenon known as the ideomotor effect is what drives the planchette's movement. According to this theory, the users move the planchette unconsciously, guided by their own thoughts and expectations rather than spirits. The ideomotor effect implies that the board reveals hidden thoughts and fears, which can be just as unsettling as any supernatural encounter. This explanation, however, does little to diminish the board's allure. Even with scientific rationale, the Ouija board remains a powerful tool for those seeking contact with the unknown. In today's digital age, the Ouija board continues to fascinate and terrify. Social media platforms and online forums are filled with personal stories and experiences, with many claiming to have had real encounters with spirits through the board. In one viral TikTok video, a group of friends nervously watch as the planchette moves seemingly on its own, spelling out chilling messages that leave them shaken. On Reddit, users share tales of unexplained noises and strange occurrences after a Ouija session, with some claiming that they were haunted for weeks by a presence they had unknowingly invited in. People then share and reshare these tales, perpetuating the board's dark reputation. The internet has also given rise to new forms of Ouija board usage, with virtual boards and apps allowing people to communicate with spirits online. Despite these technological advances, the core experience remains the same: an eerie, unsettling encounter with the unknown that blurs the line between the natural and supernatural. The Ouija board's history offers several important lessons. It serves as a reminder that even the simplest of objects can carry a profound weight of meaning, capable of evoking fear, curiosity, and awe. The belief in the board's ability to connect with spirits taps into a deep-seated human desire to understand what lies beyond death, offering a sense of control over the unknowable. This power of belief can both be a source of comfort and a cause of anxiety, illustrating how our minds can shape our reality. The board also highlights the collective nature of this need for connection, as people often use it in groups, seeking shared experiences and validation of their spiritual encounters. In this way, the Ouija board becomes not just a tool for individual exploration, but a focal point for communal beliefs and fears, underscoring the social dimension of our quest for meaning in the mysteries of life and death. Today, the Ouija board stands as a cultural artifact that embodies our fascination with the supernatural and our fear of the unknown. As long as there are questions about the afterlife and the mysteries of the spirit world, the Ouija board will continue to hold its place in the shadows, inviting those who dare to seek answers from the beyond.
Wow. Yo, check it out, guys. That's gonna be a hard pass for me. You know what I mean? I don't mess with the Ouija boards. Yo, when I go to Walmart, I be seeing them there. You know what I mean? I'm like, and every time I say the same thing, I'm like, yo, how the hell you guys? You know what I mean? So that's a hard pass. I don't need to know nothing about the afterlife. Well, like I said, when it comes, that's all negative. Anything that comes from the Ouija board, you're just letting negativity in. Negative spirits, demons, all that stuff. So that's a hard pass for me, you know. But alright guys, that's about it. Yo, check it out. If you guys like what you're seeing, do me a favor, smash that like. You know what I mean? If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. Yeah, also guys, check out the my main channel for collectors, Heroes and Villains Collectibles. If you guys are collectors, make sure to check that out. We do toy hunts. I got collections of statues, hot toys. We do gaming, all that good stuff. Alright, so that'll be my main channel. The link is in the description. But yeah guys, I'm gonna go ahead and end it here. And then what also I'm gonna wind up doing is I'll go ahead and chop it up. So if you guys don't want to go ahead, watch the whole live stream, you guys will be able to watch 4 or 5 individual videos. Alright, so on that one, this was dope, this was awesome. Shout out to everybody in the chat, or you guys in the comments. This has been another episode of A Fresh Point of View TV. I'm your boy, LC. Until next time, guys. Peace.